Hi everyone, it's Caroline or Miss B Overseas. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is the end of May, somehow, which means that it's time for my June TBR. But I'm gonna be honest with you all, even as I'm sitting here, I just hit record, I do not know what I want to read in June. It's astonishing to me that May is already almost over, because what even happened? If anything happened to you in the month of May, please let me know, because I honestly can't remember a single thing that I accomplished or happened to me this month. But the month of June for me is going to be extremely hectic. It's the last month of school, so if you are a teacher, you know all of the hectic craziness that comes with the last month of school, just like report cards and exams and final assignments, and then end of year activities, and like, you know, the emotional feelings that come with saying goodbye to students. And then this is going to be a particularly emotional month because I'm leaving the school that I'm at and moving to a new school. So the month of June is going to be spent preparing for that as well, even though it doesn't happen until July. Like, I have to pack up my entire apartment and life and like say goodbye to all of the people that have grown very dear to me over the past 2 years that I've lived here. So it's a lot, and I don't know what I want to read. Normally, like halfway through a month, I will know what I want to read the next month. Like, I'll have plans in place, and I have no plans in place. So I thought that since I am going to be moving, what I should do, like how I should pick my books, is that I wanted to read physical books that I own that I have not yet read. Most of the books that I physically own, I have read, but there's a few exceptions to that. So I thought that I could dedicate this month of June TBR to reading books that I already own that I have not yet read. That way I can read them before I unhaul them, so that way I can move. There's a couple of books from my May TBR that I'm in the middle of, so I'm going to be finishing those in June. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, and then Everything Sad is Untrue, A True Story by Daniel Nayeri. These were both on my May TBR, and I have barely started both of them, but I plan on finishing them, so I thought that I would include them in this month's TBR too, because technically I'll be finishing them in June. I don't know why I'm explaining it like it's not easy to understand. It is. This one is adult horror. It's about these Blackfeet men. I've gotten like a page into it maybe. And then this one is contemporary with like some storytelling folklore elements to it, or like legend elements to it. I will link my May TBR up above, and hopefully Caroline from a month ago will do a better job at explaining what happens in those than this current Caroline is. So now let's get to the actual June TBR that I have. I know that I just went through all that trouble of explaining that I'm reading books that I physically own, but I also still want to try and hit my goal of reading at least one middle grade, one young adult, and then one adult book each month. And I just don't, every single middle grade book that I own, I've already read. But I do have on hold at my library, A Wish in the Dark by Christina Soontornbot. This is one that I wanted to get to a couple of months ago that just never happened, so I kept extending my hold. So this is the month that I'm gonna get to it. This is a Thai inspired fantasy, and one thing that I didn't realize about it, but my friend who just read it told me, is that it's kind of Les Miserables inspired, I guess. It's about this boy who is born in this prison, and then he escapes, and the prison warden's daughter kind of hunts for him through the streets of this fantastical Thai-inspired world. As for my young adult pick, I thought that I would finally get to I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. This is one that I purchased, I think, around this time last year, and I just never got to it. So I thought, what a better time than now, I guess. This story is about a character named Ben who comes out as non-binary to their parents, and their parents do not take to that well, so they kick them out of their house, and they are forced to move in with a relative, I think a sister of theirs that they haven't seen in a very long time, and they just kind of have to try and start over at a new school and obviously deal with the traumatic, I guess, ramifications of being exiled by their parents, and then also just kind of explore their identity and what it means to be non-binary. And that's all I really know about that, but I'm excited to get to it. For my adult pick, I thought that I would finally get to The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This, I think, came out or was published around a year ago, and I'm so excited to finally get to it. If you don't know, this is literary fiction, and it follows these two sisters who were born and raised in this Black community, and I think that they both end up running away at a young age, or at least one of them runs away at a young age, and one of them kind of spends their life as white passing, whereas the other one, I think, stays in the community and lives their life with their family and kind of with that community that they grew up in. And I think that there may be shifts in time kind of following them when they were growing up together, and then kind of following them and how differently their lives have deviated kind of in the present timeline. I have two more that I kind of just picked up because they were some of the only books left in my apartment that I own but have not read yet. This one is A Room Away from the Wolves by Nova Ren Suma, and I could not tell you how this book came into my possession, much less what it is about. I want to say that it's YA and it's kind of speculative. It's about this girl named Bina, and it seems like she ran away from home at a young age, but now maybe she's trying to find her way back home. She has an old suitcase, a fresh black eye, and a room waiting for her at Catherine House, which is the title of this book. Is Catherine House like an actual place somewhere? A young woman's residence in Greenwich Village with a tragic history, a vow of confidentiality, and dark magical secrets. Isn't that what like this book is about? I feel like they're very similar. Are they the same author? Is this like a prequel? I don't know. I'll let you know if they have any relation to one another when I read it, I guess. I know that they don't have any relation to each other, but that Catherine House thing is weird, right? And the final book that I have that I want to get to in the month of June is one that comes on recommendation, and it is Solutions and Other Problems by Allie Brosh. This is kind of a memoir style collections of essays and musings from Allie Brosh, who is a famous, well, I don't know, famous. She's an artist. I believe that she like had a blog where she posted her artwork, and then it kind of grew from there. So the essay slash memoir collection is kind of written in her art style, and I have never consumed like an essay collection in this format before, so it's something that I'm really looking forward to. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the world's most unplanned TBR, or at least my most unplanned TBR that I've ever created. It feels like I should do more, but I don't have anything else to do. I hope that I get to all of these with all of the things that will be required from me in June. But and actually now that I'm looking at this, like this is a good TBR. Go me for last minute TBR creations. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you so much for watching. If you have read any of these, let me know. Let me know what you're reading in June. Let me know if you experienced memory loss of May as well. Let me know if your June is just as chaotic as mine. And I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.